He spent 9 months waiting for the birth of his son. 9 months of silence. 9 months of frustrating gestures and writing on tablets to convey what he wanted to say about anything and everything. And when his son was born, he still couldn't verbalize his great pleasure. Well, I'm talking about John the Baptizer's father, Zacharias. He earned those 9 mute months because he didn't believe the angel Gabriel's prior report to him. We read that in Luke chapter 1, where Gabriel said, "Your wife Elizabeth will bear you a son, and you shall call his name John." Those 9 months gave him plenty of time to reflect on what's about to happen to his family. Gabriel told Zacharias his son was destined for great things. As a priest and one who walked blamelessly before the Lord, and all that he did and all the commandments, Zacharias knew what was coming. So in 9 months, he got his priorities in order. Well, the day came when his son was born. Still no words to say out loud. The cord was ceremoniously cut. Still nothing. Little baby John nursed and snuggled with his mother Elizabeth, and all John's father Zacharias could do was look on, watch, walk him when he was fussy, and regret the day when he doubted the angel's report to him. 8 days passed, and it was time to circumcise and name the little child. Almost done, but there was disagreement about his name. He should be called Zacharias, some insisted. No, Elizabeth said. She spoke up for herself and Zacharias and declared his name shall be called John. Frustration overtook Zacharias. He grabbed a writing tablet and began to furiously pen, "His name is John." And with that came his voice, returning to him deep and strong, bellowing to the onlookers his praise and pent-up thanksgiving for all he had thought about the last 278 days. No, it wasn't about his own son, John. It was about the son of someone else. He proclaimed, "Blessed is the Lord of Israel, for he has visited and redeemed his people and raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David." Zacharias was talking about the coming of Jesus. And then came everything else he wanted to say about his own little boy and the angelic message that had challenged him before. Words that spilled forth after the interminable time he had spent learning his lesson on the priority of fatherhood. He said this, "And you, child," talking about his own son John, "will be called the prophet of the highest, for you will go before the Lord to prepare his ways, to give knowledge of salvation to his people by the remission of their sins, through the tender mercies of our God, which the dayspring from on high has visited us, to give light to those who sit in darkness and the shadow of death, to guide our feet into the way of peace." Well, what does this have to do with Christmas? Everything. Even as Elizabeth was filled with the Holy Spirit when she heard the voice of Mary, so too was John filled with the Spirit in the womb. It was no secret event, and without a doubt, Zacharias knew of the occurrence, and his heart must have been stirred, yet he could not vocalize his great excitement and his pleasure in seeing the encounter of unborn Jesus with unborn John. When John was born, Zacharias resolved to do the right thing. When he did, he praised God first for the coming Messiah. And when he did, people definitely heard him. His son, John the Baptizer, went on to be who Jesus called the greatest man ever born. It was prophesied that John would be the forerunner of Jesus and would faithfully prepare people to meet and walk with Jesus, declaring for certainty the coming of the Messiah into the world. So, as an important part of celebrating Christ's birth, we must recognize that John began his own celebration even before he himself was born. The greatest man ever born? Yes. And I say that John got a little bit of that from his father. Merry Christmas.